So there's a guy named BT Jordan who's a pass rush coach for a bunch of NFL players. But my point is, I talked to him at the joint practice, or the Broncos joint practice with the Cardinals, and I asked him about Walter Nolen. And he said, man, that guy's different. I said, what do you mean? He said, he has all three things that you need to be great. I said, what are they? Come on, tell me. Stop teasing me. He said he has the talent for sure. He has the physical attributes. But then he said what makes him different is his mindset. Like he wants to be, like he's a dog. Like he wants to be great.
That's Sam Acho, who was on with Wolf and Luke earlier this week here on Arizona Sports. And Sam did the preseason games on the television side and was around the team a lot, but sharing his story about what he learned during the preseason about Walter Nolen. That's all well and good. Mm-hmm. The bad part is that dog in Walter Nolen, we're going to have to wait a while to see it on the football field.
Yeah. For
the second straight year, Cardinals first-round pick at defensive line, starting the year on the physically unable to perform list. Last year it was Darius Robinson. Ended up missing 11 games. We don't know what the prognosis is for Walter Nolen. We did find out Darius Robinson after the fact that the delay was so long because that injury was a lot more severe than it was let on. Initially,
right.
And we don't know what to think on this injury right now. It's just deja vu and not of the good kind for the Cardinals.
Yeah, listen, and that's one of the frustrating things as a fan base because you really you've got no traction as to what's wrong with the player because all NFL teams guard their language and these injuries like they're national secrets. Mm-hmm. And because people who cover football teams now, they get a very limited window of what they can report on and a great amount of time of watching things that they cannot report on. It leads to a lot of nothingness when it comes to an actual prognosis. So you can't help but wonder about what it meant for Darius Robinson last year and how it turned out to be basically a wasted rookie season for him. And you hope that's not the case for Walter Nolen, because the whole plan was that this young buck was going to come in and mess stuff up. He was gonna thrive under the mentorship of some veterans around him, primarily Calais Campbell, and then he was gonna do his deal on the interior of that defensive line, and now you just don't know how severe this injury is.
Yeah, Nick Rawlis spoke at the beginning of August on, Nolen was already hurt at that time, had been out for quite some time, but was asked, hey, where's Nolen going to play when he's back?
I mean, that's something that we can gauge when that time comes. One thing that I'm constantly reminding Walt, because I know he's dying to be out there, is you just control those controllables every single day, whether that's attacking his physical bucket, his rehab, or mastering in the meeting room. And so I think if he keeps doing those things, whether we ease it back or we could put the pedal to the metal is something we got to judge in that moment, but it's not going to take long for him to get going. One thing that I was able to see in the spring is he puts in the effort to learn things and he grasps things pretty fast. And then when you make a correction, you really don't see that mistake again. So he takes to the field pretty quick. So I'm confident that he's putting in the work that he needs to right now. And when that time's ready, he's going to be ready to go.
Yeah, we've already pointed out the similarities in feel to last year. Mm-hmm. There is a big difference between this situation and last year's situation. And the big difference is the rest of the defensive line. Darius Robinson is healthy going into his second season. Mm-hmm. They added Dalvin Tomlinson. They added Calais Campbell. After cutdown day, those look to be the three starters, but the rotation behind them is really strong, in my opinion. Dante Stills, good football player.
Yep.
LJ Collier kind of found a rebirth here in Arizona as a rotation player. Mm-hmm. Justin Jones, PJ Mustipher opened some eyes. He earned a roster spot. So I think that's the big difference, is the depth of the unit going into week one this year is a lot stronger than last year. So maybe you can sustain the loss of Walter Nolen a little bit better until
there's no doubt.
Back.
Listen, I never thought in a million years that Walter Nolen was going to be the linchpin between making the playoffs and not.
Yeah.
Right? This is a rookie after all. And so, in my opinion, anything he brought to the team this year was going to be a bonus. And yet his potential is such that I was really looking forward to seeing what that might look like. So in no way is this a deal breaker whatsoever. Even if he misses games all the way up to December, This is not a deal breaker for the team. It's just a bummer because it comes in light of what you mentioned, the Darius Robinson news from a year ago. Now, but that doesn't change the fact that the Cardinals in week 1 are facing a very bad Saints team and Spencer Rattler is their starting quarterback, which was announced yesterday. So this defensive line, they better get after it.
If I know it's only the first week, but if they don't look good against the Saints,
there's pressure on them. There is no doubt about it. And it's kind of what I wrote about yesterday when I talked about Jonathan Gannon and the honeymoon, the 2-year honeymoon being over.
Yep.
It's nothing negative about Jonathan Gannon. It's that everything they do this year is going to hit differently. If they go out and get upset by the Saints, people are not going to be happy. People are going to be very, very angry. There's a big contingent of Cardinal fans. The Bird Gang travel crew, they're heading down to New Orleans again. Mm-hmm. You're going to see Cardinal fans in that audience. It would do a lot of damage to our collective psyche as a football town if you lose week 1. On the flip side, it's a great chance for this defensive front, this regenerated defensive front, to get after a quarterback, a local kid who is trying to find his way in the NFL.
Yeah, he has not experienced a win yet as a starting quarterback. He was 0-6 in that role last year. Here was Ian Rappaport from NFL Network on the Saints crystallizing their quarterback position ahead of week 1.
The simple reason right now is that Spencer Rattler in a camp competition, a full-on, very open quarterback competition, a lot of people thought that Tyler Shuck would come in and just get the starting job because he was the most NFL ready and because he was the high draft pick and all the things. Spencer Rattler won it. And if you're the New Orleans Saints, that's a good thing. Is it perfect? Nothing is perfect right now. Like, we don't know for sure if any of these guys are the Saints QB1 for the next 10 years. We don't know if any of these guys are a franchise quarterback. But what we do know is that in an open competition, based on the consistency, based on, as Kellen Moore said, making plays with his arm and his legs, based on his understanding of the operation, based on the way he handled all parts of the quarterback competition, Spencer Rattler won it, kind of continuing on what he did last year.
Yeah, and then kind of spinning back to what you said about week 1. Now they know who they're going to be facing at quarterback. They know they're going to be facing a team in New Orleans that does not have very good projections this year. And it is week 1. You want to talk about a tone setter? They can't afford to lose week 1. This is almost a must-win week 1, which sounds ridiculous.
It does, but I think it's absolutely actually true. And that's a tough thing to ask a football team that is yet to post a winning season. We expect you to go on the road and win week 1 of an NFL season in a very hostile building. I've said it repeatedly. There's something about that Superdome, whatever it's called these days. It's a very intimidating place. It's spooky. It's weird. It's loud. It feels angry. It's very hostile. Mm-hmm. So it's tough to get your footing in that stadium. But the Cardinals have to walk into there like the big dog, and they gotta roll that team. So that's why it's so important that this team is actually in a good state of readiness.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.